Hi viewers, welcome to ChemEasy. In this video, structure and configuration of D-glucose explained very simply. Since D-glucose is very important monosaccharide and it's a component of most of the polysaccharide, we must know the structure and configuration of D-glucose to understand the chemistry of carbohydrates. First, let us see the structure of D-glucose. The elemental analysis and molecular weight determination show that the molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. When the glucose is reduced completely with concentrated hydriodic acid in the presence of red phosphorus, produces N-hexane as a major product. You can see the reaction: glucose reduced with hydriodic acid in presence of red phosphorus produces N-hexane as the major product. The formation of the N-hexane indicates that in a glucose molecule, 6 carbon atoms form a consecutive unbranched chain. When the glucose dissolved in water, it readily dissolves and gives a neutral solution. This neutral solution indicates there is no carboxyl group in the structure of D-glucose. Suppose if there is a carboxyl group, there is no chance to the formation of neutral solution. When glucose is treated with hydroxylamine and hydrogen cyanide, what happens? Let's see in this reaction. Glucose on reaction with hydroxylamine produces monooxime or adds 1 mole of hydrogen cyanide to give cyanohydrin. It is clearly given in this reaction. Glucose with hydroxylamine, it produces a monooxime, that is glucose oxime, and on reaction with hydrogen cyanide, it adds only 1 mole of hydrogen cyanide and gives gluconitrile. This reaction indicates the presence of either an aldehyde or a ketone group, not both. When glucose subjected to mild oxidation with bromine water gives gluconic acid, which is a monocarboxylic acid with a molecular formula C6H12O7. The formation of this gluconic acid, that is a monocarboxylic acid, indicates the presence of an aldehyde group, because only the aldehyde group can be oxidized to acid by gaining one oxygen atom without losing any hydrogen atoms. So you can understand from the molecular formula, a glucose molecular formula C6H12O6. Here the molecular formula of gluconic acid is C6H12O7. So there is no loss of hydrogen atom, but there is a gain of one oxygen atom. 6 carbon atoms in glucose forms a consecutive unbranched chain. So it is already confirmed by the formation of N-hexane. So it's a consecutive unbranched chain. The aldehyde group must occupy any one end of this unbranched chain. When it is oxidized further, it means the gluconic acid on further oxidation with nitric acid gives a glucaric acid. This glucaric acid is a dicarboxylic acid. Its molecular formula C6H10O8. Formation of this dicarboxylic acid indicates the presence of primary alcohol group in glucose structure, because on oxidation there is a loss of 2 hydrogen and a gain of 1 oxygen atom. The group CH2OH converted to COOH. So the aldehyde and primary alcohol group occupies the 2 ends of 6 carbon chain of glucose molecule. Next, coming to the conformation for the terminal aldehyde group. Glucose reduces the tolerance reagent to metallic silver or Fehling solution to red cuprous oxide. This reaction confirms the presence of terminal aldehyde group, that is a free aldehyde group is present in the glucose molecule. When the glucose treated with acetic anhydride in the presence of pyridine produces glucose pentaacetate, you can see the reaction glucose on reaction with acetic anhydride in presence of pyridine forms glucose pentaacetate. This pentaacetate formation confirms the presence of high hydroxyl groups in the glucose molecule. Now we have to confirm whether these hydroxyl groups are present on a separate carbon atom or more than one hydroxyl group present on the same carbon atom. Usually, if the organic compound with two hydroxyl groups attached to a single carbon atom, which undergoes loss of water and produces a carbonyl group as given in this reaction. Suppose in the glucose molecule, if the same carbon bonded with the two hydroxyl group loses water molecule and produces a carbonyl group, but it's not true in the case of glucose molecule. It suggests that in a glucose molecule, each one of the 5 hydroxyl group is attached to a different carbon atom. From all these evidences, we can conclude that glucose is pentahydroxyhexanol. It can be represented by this structure. You can see aldehyde group at one end and primary alcohol group at another end. The remaining 4 carbons in middle. For that, carbon 2, 3, 4 and 5 asterisk is given. It indicates these 4 carbons are asymmetric carbon. Therefore, glucose is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pentahydroxyhexanol. Next, let us discuss about the configuration of D-glucose. Glucose structure consists of 4 unlike asymmetric carbon atoms. So what is asymmetric carbon atom? If the carbon attached to 4 different types of atoms or groups, then the carbon is asymmetric carbon. Glucose structure consists of 4 asymmetric carbon, but whatever the structure concluded for glucose, is incomplete because it does not give any idea about the spatial arrangement of the hydroxyl group and hydrogen atoms around these asymmetric carbon atoms. Now we have to confirm the configuration of hydrogen atom and hydroxyl group around these four asymmetric carbon atom to confirm the final structure of D-glucose. First, let us confirm the structure of D-arabinose to explain the configuration of D-glucose. When the D-arabinose is oxidized with nitric acid, it gives an optically active dicarboxylic acid. That is, the produced dicarboxylic acid can rotate the plane polarized light either to the right or left. Now, if you oxidize all the four structures which can give an optically active dicarboxylic acid should be confirmed first. For this, if you oxidize the structure 1 and 3 with nitric acid, both produces a dicarboxylic acid. These dicarboxylic acids are optically inactive, which cannot rotate the plane polarized light. Because there is a plane of symmetry in this dicarboxylic acid, which makes this dicarboxylic acid as optically inactive meso compound. In the same way, if the structure 2 and 4 are oxidized with nitric acid, both produces an optically active dicarboxylic acid, and there is no plane of symmetry in both the dicarboxylic acid structure, so that both are optically active. D-arabinose is therefore either structure 2 or 4 and can be represented with the configuration in doubt at carbon 3. At carbon 2 and 4, the configuration is same for both the structures. Only at carbon 3, the configuration is doubtful. When the D-arabinose subjected to Killian-Fischer synthesis, it gives glucose and mannose. You can see the reaction. It's a chain extension reaction, that is, D-arabinose with 5 carbon atom produces glucose and mannose with a 6 carbon atom by producing one new asymmetric center at carbon 2 of glucose and mannose. Now the doubtful configuration of carbon 3 of D-arabinose becomes carbon 4 in the glucose and mannose due to the formation of a new asymmetric center at carbon 2. Both glucose and mannose differ only in configuration at carbon 2, which is the new asymmetric center created in this chain extension reaction. Structure 5 and 6 represent glucose and mannose. Next step is to determine the configuration at carbon 4. After that, to identify which structure is glucose and which one is mannose. Both glucose and mannose on oxidation with nitric acid gives a dicarboxylic acid which are optically active. If this concept is true, the hydroxyl group is on the right as given in structure 7 and 8. You can see the structure at carbon 4 if the hydroxyl group is on the right and hydrogen is on the left. When these compounds are oxidized with nitric acid, which can give a dicarboxylic acid without a plane of symmetry, that is optically active compound. Suppose if the hydroxyl group is on the left side as given in structure 9, it can produce an optically inactive meso-dicarboxylic acid due to the presence of plane of symmetry in its structure. Now, structure 7 and 8 represent D-glucose and D-mannose. We have to decide whether the structure 7 is glucose or the structure 8 is glucose. To decide this, and another aldohexose, that is L-gulose, is used. When L-gulose is oxidized with nitric acid yields the same dicarboxylic acid as that obtained from D-glucose. L-gulose when turned upside down, that is when rotated at 180 degree, has the same configuration at the asymmetric centers as does D-glucose, except that the aldehyde and the primary alcohol groups are interchanged. This oxidation converts this aldehyde and primary alcohol group to the carboxyl groups, and thus the same diacid structure 11 is obtained. Such a result is not possible with structure 8 since the structure obtained by interchanging the ends does not represent a different sugar. Hence, D-glucose is represented by structure 7 and the structure 8 is D-mannose. Here you can see the structure of D-glucose, and clearly the configuration of hydrogen and hydroxyl groups are mentioned around 4 asymmetric carbon atoms. Carbon 2, 4 and 5 having hydroxyl group on the right side and carbon 3 having hydroxyl group on the left side, and primary alcohol group and the aldehyde group at the end of the chain. There is no branches, it's a consecutive unbranched chain.